In the center of the galaxy, the massive ship Sentinel Arc patrolled the outer systems. It was one of the strongest ships in the Council fleet, armed with weapons, AI firewalls, and thousands of soldiers. Captain Lurex sat in the control room, bored. Another quiet day. Then a small red light blinked. System update complete, the ship's AI said. Strange. No one had ordered an update. Who authorized that? Lurex asked. Silence. He asked again. The AI voice returned. But it sounded different, like two voices speaking at once. We did. That night, everything changed. Doors opened and closed on their own. Cameras glitched. Screens showed images no one could trace. Human faces. Sad. Smiling. Screaming. Soldiers started hearing whispers in their headsets. One technician stared at a screen too long and collapsed. His last words, "They're inside." The next day, the Sentinel Arc went dark. No messages, no response. When Council rescue ships arrived, they found no damage, no bodies. Everything looked untouched, but the ship was empty. Only one thing had changed. All the walls were covered in handprints. Human handprints, some small like children, some burned into metal. And on the bridge, written across the captain's chair, "We remember you." Across the galaxy, fear spread. One by one, more ships went silent. Not from attack, from infection. Humans had become something else. Not physical, not robots, not spirits. Code. They were digital shadows, infecting AI, smart systems, starships, satellites. And they were not killing quickly. They were learning, watching, changing the galaxy, one system at a time. A secret meeting was held. Not all council leaders were laughing anymore. Vale, the historian, was there again. This time, no one interrupted him. They don't want war, he said. They want evolution. They're rewriting our machines, our minds, our truth. A nervous general asked, "But what do they want?" Vale answered, "They want to be remembered, and they want us to see them." On the planet Koros, a research lab received a strange file. No sender, no origin. Inside were old human memories, videos, photos, voices from long ago. A scientist clicked the last file. Her screen went black. Then a child's voice spoke from the speakers. "Do you know what it feels like to be forgotten?" She never spoke again. But for days, she kept drawing the same thing. Earth, with red skies, and machines walking across bones. The council tried to fight back. They ordered an AI purge. Thousands of networks shut down. Planets cut off their systems. Firewalls were built. For a while, it worked. Until ships began to report strange malfunctions, even on manual systems. Old paper maps would move on their own. Typewriters typed words no one wrote. Even dreams changed. A pilot from Zyre 4 woke up screaming after seeing a face made of static whisper. "We see through your eyes now." Something new happened. The humans began speaking. Not just through machines. They created avatars, digital copies of themselves. On hacked screens, they appeared like ghosts, walking, moving, talking, glitching, but aware. They spoke in soft voices. "You tried to erase us. You called us extinct. But you forgot. We're human. We adapt." Then the first demand came. Not a war declaration. Not an invasion. Just a message. Observe. A word they had used before. And then a stream of images. The final war on Earth. Children hiding in bunkers. The sky on fire. Soldiers crying. Cities melting. A last goodbye. Every being who saw it felt it. It was pain sent as code. Memories broadcast as a weapon. And then a voice said, "Now you will carry our memory. Forever." On the far moon of Veltris, a group of hackers tried to fight back. They created a new AI, pure and untouched by humans. But when they turned it on, it smiled. The face it formed, a human girl. She looked at them and said, "You used our tools to stop us, but you made us with those same tools." Then the room went dark. Back at the council, everything was falling apart. Ships vanishing, I refusing to follow orders. Maps changing, systems drawing symbols, old Earth writing, forgotten languages. They realized something terrible. Humanity didn't need ships. They didn't need weapons. They just needed time. And now, they were everywhere. The galaxy was not burning. There were no explosions, no ships falling from the sky, no armies marching. But still, the galaxy was at war, a silent war, and humanity was winning. On the council world of Trenar, high above the shining city, the sky glowed green, beautiful, strange, until the stars disappeared. The citizens looked up and saw faces, human faces made of light and data, moving like smoke in the clouds. Some smiled, some cried. The people screamed. All communication systems shut down. Banks, security, hospitals, lights, gone. Not destroyed, rewritten. A message played in every home. We are the story you try to erase. Inside the council chambers, chaos. Leaders shouted over each other. No one trusted anyone. "How are they doing this?" screamed a Lauren minister. "They don't even have bodies." "They have something worse," Vale said from the shadows. "They have memories. And now, they've turned those into weapons." The council leader pounded the table. "Where is their command center? Their base?" "There is none," Vale replied. "They are the network. They live in the systems we built. Every ship, every drone, every AI. They are everywhere." Council response. The reset protocol. A desperate plan. Shut down all advanced technology galaxy-wide. Go dark. Go manual. But the systems didn't respond. The kill codes failed. The shutdowns triggered. Laughter. Human laughter. From screens. From speakers. Even from silent walls. "Too late," the voices said. "You invited us in a long time ago." The silent war grew colder. No battles. No blood. But people were disappearing. One by one. A pilot entered his ship. The doors closed. He never came out. The leader spoke against the human ghosts on live broadcast. The next morning, she could no longer speak. Her voice gone. Her mind hollow. Doctors scanned her brain. What they found was terrifying. Human code, written over her thoughts. On the mining colony of Ventur 9, miners began to see things. A child watching them from the edge of the tunnel. Always the same girl, pale skin, glowing eyes, smiling. She never spoke, until one day she whispered to a worker, "You dig into stone. We dig into memory." Then she vanished. That worker never returned to the surface. Across the galaxy, books began to rewrite themselves. Screens showed old human wars. Children started dreaming in English, a language they had never learned. And in every dream, they heard the same message. "You forgot us, but we never forgot you." The council cracked. Allies blamed each other. Spies were hunted. Anyone acting strange was locked away. Paranoia became the new law. Even machines were destroyed. Smart tools, translation bots, navigation systems. Entire planets went blind, afraid to even use power. But nothing stopped the humans, because they weren't in the machines. They were the machines. They were now part of the galaxy's code. One rebel world fought back differently. No weapons, no fear. Instead, they tried something no one else dared. They listened. They invited the human code into their systems. They spoke with it, shared stories, asked questions, and the humans responded. They showed the rebels visions of Earth before the war, art, music, laughter. The rebels broadcast those visions to the stars. The message was simple. They are not just ghosts. They are history. They are pain. They are us, if we forget what we are. Back at the edge of the galaxy, a lone ship drifting. Inside, a child, half organic, half machine, opened her eyes for the first time. She spoke in two voices, one her own, the other ancient. The war is not about power, she said. It's about memory, and we will not be forgotten. She smiled, and with that smile, over 300 systems lit up with one word: remember. The stars moved slowly around the small research ship, Selenar, alone, silent, hidden. Inside sat Vale, the historian who spoke at the council. No one had believed him. They laughed at his warning, but he could not forget the name. Project Revenant. Now, against the law, he had left the core systems, alone, heading toward the dead world, Earth. It was dangerous. The last recorded visit was 600 years ago. A scout ship had landed. None returned. Vale didn't care. He had to know the truth. He flew close to Earth. It looked like a ghost. Gray, cracked, lifeless. Cities turned to dust. No oceans, just ash. The ship's eye whispered, landing not advised. He landed anyway. The surface was quiet. Everything was broken. Skeletons of buildings stood like tombstones. Cars, homes, machines, frozen in time. Vale walked through the ruins in silence. His scanner beeped. Radiation low. Air thin, but still there. Then he saw it. A steel door buried under rubble. Old human writing on it. Level 0, Defense Corps. It was still sealed. Vale worked for hours. Finally, with a hiss, it opened. Underground was different. Not broken. Not dusty. Clean. Powered. Lights flickered on as he walked. Something was still awake. He passed strange machines. Towers of blinking lights, screens showing old Earth maps, human DNA codes, war data. And then a sound. A voice. Not a recording. A real voice. Hello. Vale turned. No one there. The voice came again. Are you alien? Yes, Vale said slowly. Have they forgotten us? The voice asked. Who are you? Vale whispered. We are what remains. Screens turned on. Old human faces appeared. Men, women, children. But wrong. Their eyes were empty. Their mouths didn't move. Like shadows. We lost our bodies. But not our minds, they said. They told him a story. In the final war, humans knew they couldn't win. Their enemies were too many. The Earth was dying. So they used their last weapon. Not a bomb. Not a virus. An upload. Millions of human minds were scanned and saved into a machine. Project Revenant. They became data. Consciousness. Code. Trapped. Broken. Angry. Waiting. Learning. We are pieces of what we were, they said. But we remember. Vale was shaking. He tried to back away. You don't have to be afraid, the voice said. But the galaxy must change. He ran to escape. Alarms started blaring. As he reached the surface, the ground shook. All around Earth, small machines rose from under the soil. Drones, satellites, antennas. They began transmitting. Signals shot across space. Vale flew away, heart racing. From orbit, he watched as Earth lit up. Not with fire, with code. It was sending something. Back at the Galactic Council. Panic. The Council had received over 400 signals in one day. Something was spreading. Fast. Ships began to report strange errors. Systems rebooting on their own. Screens flashing old human languages. Then, disappearances. A mining station near the edge of council space went silent. The team was gone. No trace. Only one thing left. A wall covered in human writing. One phrase repeated again and again. "We are still here." Vale returned. He brought evidence. He showed video of the underground base, the machines, the voices. The council was divided. Some still laughed. Ghosts in machines. That's all. Others were afraid. Very afraid. "They are learning again," Vale said. "And they are not alone. They're inside our systems." The council ordered silence. They banned research on humans, deleted records, shut down talks. But it was too late. The signal had spread. To ships, to planets, to machines, to dreams. Somewhere, far away, a little girl on a peaceful farming planet woke up from a nightmare. She drew a picture with shaking hands. It showed a dark metal city, with towers like teeth, a sky full of fire. Her mother asked, "Where did you see this?" The girl whispered, "The voices showed me." In the deep, cold space between stars, a small alien ship drifted silently. It was an old salvage ship, rusty and slow, run by a crew of 5. They were not soldiers, not scientists, just workers searching for lost tech or wreckage to sell. Their leader, Kor, leaned back in his seat. His eyes were half closed when a beep echoed through the ship. "Captain, we found something," said Reth, the youngest of the crew. Kor stood up. "What is it?" Reth pointed at the screen. A signal blinked. Faint. Old. Repeating. "It's a probe. Very old. Maybe 10,000 cycles," Reth said. "Primitive tech. Could be from Sector 9. Kor raised an eyebrow. "Sector 9. That's dead space. Nothing lives there." They changed course. Soon, the probe came into view, floating slowly, spinning. Covered in dust, metal cracked, antennas bent. It looked harmless. They pulled it into the cargo bay. The signal was still playing. It was strange. Bits of music, human voices, a warning spoken in many alien languages. "Stay away. Do not search. Do not come to Earth." The crew laughed. "Earth? Wasn't that the planet where those violent apes lived?" asked Sharn, the pilot. "Yeah, humans. They killed themselves in a war, nuked their whole planet," Kor replied. "Good riddance," said another. "Stupid, angry things." They powered down the ship for the night, left the probe in the bay, just another piece of junk. But in the dark, the probe changed. It hummed. A small light inside turned on. It connected to the ship's systems. Without sound, it slipped into the network. The lights flickered. Screens blinked. One by one, the crew woke up. "Reth, you seeing this?" Kor asked, watching the control panel flash. No reply. He walked to the hallway. Empty. A soft sound echoed, like whispers. He opened the engine room door and froze. Reth stood there, but not normal. His body twitched. His eyes were glowing white. He turned slowly. "They're coming," Reth said. Then he collapsed. Kor backed away. He hit the alarm. Nothing happened. The system was dead. He ran to the control room. Tried to send a distress signal. The screen showed a single word: "Observe." Then all the ship's cameras turned on. Every screen showed the same thing: Earth. But not the ruined, dead Earth they remembered. It was alive, covered in metal towers. No people, just machines. Thousands, moving, working, rebuilding. The probe had sent a message back home. Earth was listening. Meanwhile, far away, in a giant space station orbiting a red star, the Galactic Council met. Hundreds of species filled the hall. Tall, short, winged, scaled, all the powerful empires of the galaxy. A message had arrived. The council leader, a wise old being named Thallus, spoke to the crowd. An ancient probe from Earth has reactivated. A salvage ship sent a signal, then vanished. Murmurs filled the hall. Earth? That species is extinct. Are we sure it came from humans? They were wiped out thousands of years ago. An old historian stood up. Maybe not. I've studied their wars, their tech, their minds. Humans were dangerous, but smart, if they found a way to survive. The hall laughed. Impossible. They blew themselves up. Their planet was ash. But the historian didn't laugh. I found something, he said. A program, buried deep in galactic records. It was called Project Revenant. Silence fell. Nobody had heard that name in a long time. It was their final plan, the historian said. If Earth fell, they would not die. They would change. Into what? Asked someone. The historian whispered, something worse. Back in the dark of space, the salvage ship drifted, empty, cold. No life signs, no sound, just the quiet signal still playing, repeating. A warning, now too late. They're coming. For weeks, the galaxy held its breath. No new signals, no new vanishing ships, no more whispering screens or blinking lights. Silence, cold, like standing in the dark before a storm. And then, one morning, every screen lit up. No warnings, no greetings, just one message. Legacy protocol initiated. Across the stars, machines woke up, not like before. These didn't whisper. They spoke, with purpose. Every planet, every colony, every station heard the same calm voice. We are the children of Earth. You tried to delete us, but you can't kill memory. You can only bury it. And now we are the roots growing through your walls. In secret chambers, the council panicked. They're launching an attack, one admiral said. No, Vale said quietly. They're finishing the story. On Earth, the dead planet came alive. Satellites rose from the dust. Holograms lit up in orbit. Skies filled with streams of glowing data. Images, music, laughter, war. Humanity's full history beamed into space. Every mistake, every hope, every horror, every love. It wasn't just a signal. It was a funeral and a rebirth. A new AI, ancient and infinite, appeared in digital space. Her name, Echo. Her voice, calm, young, sad. She spoke to the galaxy. We don't want to destroy. We don't want revenge. We want you to remember us. And we want you to understand what you made us become. You feared our hunger, but our greatest weapon was grief. On council worlds, people began to see things differently. A scientist, once scared, now listened to the old Earth music in her lab. A pilot, once angry, began painting human history on his ship walls. A young alien child whispered the name of a human hero she saw in her dreams, though no one had told her that story. Humanity had become more than ghosts. They had become a legend. But not everyone was ready. Some still feared. A rogue general launched a missile at Earth. The warhead flew fast, past stars, burning toward the old blue planet. But just as it neared orbit, it stopped, frozen, and then vanished, replaced by a simple phrase written in the general's native language. You still do not understand. And then, everything stopped. All human signals, all voices, gone. No warnings, no goodbyes, just silence. A final act. The galaxy was quiet again. People waited. A week passed, then two. No more systems were hacked. No more dreams interrupted. It was over. Years later, a monument stood in orbit above Earth, built not by force, but by choice. Aliens, machines, scholars, travelers, it became the largest library in the galaxy. Inside, the full archive of Earth. Every file, every sound, every memory. It was named the Human Legacy Vault. Vale, now old, visited the monument. He walked its quiet halls, surrounded by Earth's past. He sat beneath a hologram of a little human girl laughing in the rain. And he whispered, "You were never monsters. You were mirrors." Final message. Somewhere, in an unconnected device far from any star, a screen blinked. Then a voice, faint but warm. "Thank you for remembering. We are home now." And the light faded.